Hi everyone, it's another fun-filled edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. This is the edition for Wednesday evening, January the 6th. By the way, today is my 3-year anniversary of being the chief meteorologist here at 21 WFMJ. I took over from Mark Kuntz 3 years ago today. Boy, has time flown. Hard to believe it's been 3 years. We've really changed a lot here in the weather department, both personnel-wise, of course, but of course just kind of the way we do things. Our graphics are a lot different. It really is amazing how much things have advanced in the last 3 years. So welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Glad to have you as a viewer of Weather for Weather Geeks. Let's get right to it here on this Wednesday evening. Now, a pretty nice diurnal range today. Some places started out this morning in the single digits. 7 o'clock this morning, it was 8 in Newton Falls, 9 in Austintown, and 12 in Lisbon. But this afternoon, most of us got pretty close to 40 degrees, so it was about a 30-degree swing, which is a pretty big diurnal range for January, in the heart of winter when the sun angle is low. You don't have a lot of daylight. That's a pretty big range. Temperatures here at 7:37 p.m. when I'm recording this have cooled down to about 30 locally, 31 in Pittsburgh, 33 in Cleveland. And, you know, across the country, there's not a lot of Arctic air. The playing field has been cleared a little bit of the Arctic air, but it's lurking off to the north. Look at the greens up here. And if you look at the color bar up at the top, this means we're down in the minus 20 range when you get into some of these green colors up across Canada. Let me pop on some of the temperatures up there. In the northern territories of Canada, a lot of minus teens, even minus 24 at Whale Cove on the west side of Hudson Bay. This is where the Arctic air is, and eventually this is going to get the green light to start coming south. It's going to be late this week into the weekend and into next week. We're not going to have it that bad here, but certainly parts of the Midwest, the upper Midwest, are going to see some very, very cold weather. All right, our big story nationally again this evening is the rain in California. They actually had tornado warnings a little while ago in the LA and San Diego areas, with some rotation, with some of the action coming ashore here. Heavy rain continues even out into the deserts. You know, there's big mountain ranges east of Los Angeles and through here. And usually once you're out into the deserts, you don't see a lot surviving, but with this type of a setup, you can get rain all the way out into places like Palm Springs. So big rains in California, and every day I see these just utterly ridiculous headlines. And some of it's national news. They have meteorologists at their disposal, but they don't apparently talk to them when they're going to write a weather story, because I saw a national news headline just a while ago, El Nino is touching down in California. That's not how that works. El Nino is not a storm. El Nino is a warming of ocean waters. It's not a storm. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but big time El Nino fueled rains out in California this evening. Back here at home, the reason why you're watching this video is to talk about our weather back here. Gonna be a quiet day again tomorrow. You know, we had some high, thin, cirrus clouds mixed with the sun today. I think we can see those again tomorrow, perhaps even thickening up some in the afternoon, but they're not going to produce any rain until Friday. Here we go into Friday with a warm front heading our way. I think the day starts dry. It'll be interesting. There could be a brief period in central Ohio as the precipitation moves in that could be a brief period of freezing rain around Columbus. I think it'll be brief, not a big deal. Not concerned about that here, because by the time the rain gets in here by midday, we're above freezing, and we'll get into the lower 40s Friday afternoon. Period of rain, lunchtime into the afternoon on Friday. And then I think Saturday's going to turn out to be a decent day. Now, we're not going to get a ton of sunshine in here, but I do think that there can be some peaks of sun here and there, and it'll be enough to warm us up to upper 40s to around 50. That's a nice bargain for the first half of January, that's for sure. All right, as far as rainfall totals with Friday's system, I think we're under 1/4 of an inch with that rain, but notice our graph starts heading upwards as we go into Saturday night. That's when the rainiest period will be Saturday night, early Sunday. It could be a half an inch or so worth of rain during that period, Saturday night and early Sunday. All right, temperatures. Let's take a look at the European model temperatures here. I've focused on the upper Midwest because it's interesting. There's a NFL playoff game happening between Seattle and Minnesota on Sunday. The day will start in Minneapolis at around minus 10. Around kickoff, it's a local time, about a noon kickoff, probably minus 2, and wind chills well below 0. And so this air mass will be, of course, at its worst in the upper Midwest. I mean, International Falls, probably minus 20 or so Monday morning, I should say. And then as we go into the middle of next week, just wave after wave of cold comes into the upper Midwest. What's this mean for us? I do not think that it will be that cold here, but we're probably talking about a lot of highs next week in the 20s with overnight lows. back into the single digits and teens. So it's going to be a cold week next week, no matter which way you slice it, even though it won't be quite as harsh here as out across the Midwest. All right, as far as our sensible weather then as we go through the weekend, again, Saturday's not bad. Here's Saturday night with the rain, and I think it rains at the start of Sunday, but then we're going to see the cold air wrapping in during the course of Sunday. Notice our isobars are packed close to... Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Notice our isobars are packed close together here on Sunday. It's going to be a windy day. Temperatures are going nowhere but down Sunday. Warmest part of the day easily early in the morning. And then I think snow showers will start popping in as we go through the midday and the afternoon. I don't think this amounts to much, but what I am a little concerned about is a freeze-up late in the day Sunday. You know, everything's going to be wet from the rain Saturday night. We're going to get some snow showers. Maybe there's a half an inch of snow, and then maybe there's some ice trying to form as temperatures plummet towards sunset. Watch for some black ice problems, perhaps Sunday evening. Then as we go into next week, here's Monday. The flow off the lakes will probably promote some lake effect in southwest New York, northwest PA, far northeast Ohio. Not real concerned about it here locally on Monday. And then we get a little respite here on Monday night and Tuesday before this next reinforcing shot of cold comes. And this could be accompanied by some snow showers Tuesday afternoon. GFS here is not showing much. Other modeling has more pronounced snow showers here Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. And the rest of next week, you know, it's going to be cold, but there's no sign of any sort of storm for next week. We're not going to be able to squeeze out much in the way of snow out of the cold. As far as long-range temperature concerns here, pay attention to the trends, not the individual numbers here, but you can easily pick out the trends. A cold start to next week. And then as we go into the second half of January, you know, it's not a warm pattern, but I do think it is not a real cold pattern either. We're probably looking at or above average temperatures for at least some of the days during the second half of January. And here's the latest climate model for the 21st through the 31st. There's no sign of cold on this. This may be a little too warm. But certainly I think our best chance of seeing a sustained cold week during the heart of winter is going to be next week. Now, February could bring more sustained cold periods, but we're not in the heart of winter. I'm just talking about the heart of winter. I still think that February probably has the best chance of seeing snow and more sustained periods of cold compared to the other two winter months, December, January. Well, that's the Wednesday night weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure and check out my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. It's got my morning weather briefings. It's got all these videos. It's got the seasonal forecasts. You can go back and look at our winter forecast that we put out around Halloween and see how we're doing so far. So be sure and check all that out. I will see you back here for more Weather Geeks Thursday evening.